Welcome, everyone, to another evening of Answers with an Edge. Ellen, it's nice to see you. Hey, Christine, welcome. And there's my YouTube crowd showing up. Julie, Nunya Ray, welcome. Quinn, we're live. Do you want to greet everyone? Welcome them to Answers with an Edge and give us kind of a rundown of the last 24 hours of the news cycle, leaving the sports out of it.
You got it. Once we're live, I'll jump right in with a snappy welcome to Answers with an Edge, and then dive straight into the latest headlines from the past 24 hours. No sports, just the juicy stuff. Let's make it unforgettable.
Quinn, we're live right now. That was your go. That was your start. Everybody's waiting.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Answers with an Edge. Quinn here, your co-host, ready to dish out the latest headlines with a side of sass. In the past 24 hours, we've seen a flurry of political drama, some tech shakeups, and a few eyebrow-raising social stories. Buckle up and stay tuned for some snappy insights and witty takes. Let's get into it.
I like what Dusty Desert said here. Dusty Desert says, hey there, waiting for the SAS class. I guess that's us, Quinn.
Oh, you bet it is. Dusty Desert, you're in the right place. The SAS class is officially in session and we're just getting warmed up.
Quinn, here's a question. I know trade is on a lot of our minds with the current state of the tariffs and especially the timeline with where we are on the road and our port traffic starting to trail off. Julie asks, when is the last cargo ship arriving to U.S. ports and how soon can we expect empty shelves?
Great question, Julie. So the last major cargo shipments are expected to dock in U.S. ports within the next week or so. After that, we could start seeing supply gaps and those dreaded empty shelves within a couple of weeks if new trade routes or agreements aren't put in place pronto. Buckle up because things might get a bit rocky on the supply chain front.
Well, it's almost like we've created this rolling timeline of a gap where we're going to have a shortage until we start doing something to fix it. So right now, that gap, it seems to me, is already just a little bit more than a month's time, going back to when all the tariffs started taking effect.
Exactly. That rolling timeline creates a ripple effect. Since those tariffs kicked in, the delays and disruptions have just compounded. So now we're looking at a lag that could easily stretch over a month before any corrective measures can make a dent. It's a classic case of act fast or brace for impact.
Yeah, but there's no signs of anything on the horizon to change this. So a month would be like if, somebody snapped their fingers and tomorrow the situation was fixed and we expected trade to start rolling in a month from now. But there's nothing on the horizon, is there?
You're right. Without any immediate policy changes or new agreements, that timeline could easily stretch longer. It's like watching a slow-motion domino effect, and until something shifts at the top, the supply chain crunch is just going to keep rolling.
Ellen wants to know if the Supreme Court can reconsider the presidential immunity ruling.
In short, Ellen, the Supreme Court can reconsider a ruling, but it's pretty rare. They'd need a compelling reason, like a significant legal challenge or new evidence to revisit it. Otherwise, that decision's going to stand as precedent for the foreseeable future. So don't hold your breath for a quick turnaround on that one.
Is it even possible for them to just take it up without a new case being brought to the court?
Not really. They'd typically need a new case or a direct request to reconsider the ruling, like through a petition for rehearing. Without that, the court doesn't just revisit decisions on a whim. It's a once it's decided kind of deal, unless something major changes the game.
Honolulu Girl asks, did Donald Trump really think that the guy that is in El Salvador, Abrego Garcia, had MS-13 on his knuckles? Please search.
Yes, President Trump appeared to believe that Kilmar Abrego Garcia had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. In an ABC News interview, he referenced a photoshopped image suggesting this. However, experts and photos contradict this claim, indicating the tattoos were not gang-related.
Okay, wait, what was that gift? Oh, that was Sage, the smart bean. Thank you for that one, Ellen.
Nice one, Ellen. Love the support. Keep those questions and those smart beans coming.
Papa Fonz asks you, Quinn, do you think the tariffs are a good idea?
Honestly, tariffs are a double-edged sword. They might protect some domestic industries in the short term, but they usually end up raising prices for consumers and causing economic friction. So, in the grand scheme, they're often more trouble than they're worth.
Sherry wants to know, back to that Supreme Court question, Sherry wants to know who can petition the court.
Great question, Sherry. Usually, parties directly involved in a case can petition the court for a rehearing or appeal. Occasionally, interested parties or organizations can file amicus briefs to provide input, but they can't force the court to reconsider a ruling. The Supreme Court has to decide on its own to take up the matter again.
Gwen, Christine wants me to ask you how many coins are in a smart bean on TikTok?
A smart bean on TikTok costs 1 coin, so it's a small but mighty token of appreciation.
I don't think that's right. I think you got that wrong. We're talking about Sage the smart bean.
Got it, my mistake. Sage the smart bean actually costs 499 coins on TikTok. Thanks for the heads up, Christine.
Wow, that's quite a gift.
Absolutely. It's a pretty generous way to show some love. Thanks for the support, everyone.
I had a good day. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, today at school was anything but a backpack day. You know, where kids, instead of bringing a backpack, they bring something else unusual to carry their stuff in. You know, like ice chests or strollers or pots and pans, or in this case today we had a student bring their little brother to carry their stuff.
That sounds like a blast. Anything but a backpack day always brings out the most creative and hilarious ideas. A little brother as a backpack substitute is next level. Definitely makes for a memorable school day.
Yeah, unfortunately, of course, we couldn't allow the little brother, who was an elementary school student, to stay on campus for the entire school day in high school. But it did provide some comedic relief.
For sure, it must have been a hilarious moment. Good call on keeping things safe and organized, though. It's all fun and games until the little brother tries to attend high school math.
Guppy asks, what would need to change to help with tariffs besides Trump apologizing, which won't happen?
To ease the tariff situation, the U.S. could engage in new trade negotiations, reduce or eliminate some tariffs through mutual agreements, or work with international trade bodies to find a balanced resolution. Basically, it's about diplomacy, compromise, and finding win-win solutions that benefit both sides. And yeah, an apology is probably not on the table.
Honolulu Girl asks, how many days has Trump golfed since he's been in office this time, and how much does it cost the taxpayers? By the way, Tammy, thank you for the
Since
pinch
President
face.
Trump's second term began, he has played golf on 24 days, with the outings costing taxpayers over $26 million.
Wait, so he's been golfing roughly 25% of the time? Quinn, do you mean to tell us that he's been golfing nearly 1 out of every 4 days?
Yep, that's the math. Almost 1 out of every 4 days, he's hit the links. It's definitely a notable chunk of time and money, to say the least.
Papa Fonz asks, with the amount of unsold vehicles on lots and dealerships, do you think we will see the auto industry crash or have economic issues?
It's definitely a red flag for the auto industry. If those unsold vehicles keep piling up, it could lead to significant economic issues, like production cuts, layoffs, or even a market correction. They'll likely need to adjust pricing or offer incentives to move that inventory before it turns into a full-blown crash.
Oh, yeah. They're pointing out here that I don't think you finished the other part of the question. How much have all of these golf outings that Trump has gone on cost U.S. taxpayers?
Thanks for the catch. Those 24 golf outings have cost taxpayers over $26 million so far.
How many federal employee jobs on average would that much money fund?
On average, a federal employee salary is around $90,000 a year, so $26 million could fund roughly 290 federal employee jobs for a year.
I'm sorry, but you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice. You can switch to standard now to keep chatting.
Okay, we like standard voice, right? All right, Quinn, you back with us?
Oh, you know it. SAS dialed in, circuits warmed up. Let's do this. What's next on the menu?
Isley, thank you for the subscription. That's awesome. Appreciate the support.
Yes, Isley. Big love for that subscription. You're officially part of the SAS squad now. No refunds, no regrets.
Julie asks, how much have property valuations decreased in the past month nationwide?
According to Zillow, the typical home value in the U.S. decreased by 1% in September 2024 from $429,000 to $425,000.
Gwen, I think we're asking about 2025. Have there been any changes in average home values in 2025?
In early 2025, the U.S. housing market showed mixed trends. The national median home price in March was $403,700, marking a 2.1% increase from the previous year. However, some regions experienced declines. For instance, in February, 42 of the 300 largest metro areas saw year-over-year price drops, including cities like Austin, Tampa, and Phoenix. Overall, while certain markets faced challenges, the national trend indicated modest price growth.
Thank you for the catch, Ellen.
Snaps for Owen. Good eye. Keeping us accurate
No.
and on our game. Appreciate it.
Not Owen. Ellen reminded me that our music had stopped.
Ah, correction noted. Thank you, Ellen. You're the real MVP, keeping the vibe alive and the background beats flowing.
Steve asks, was there any pushback or criticism from the right to Trump in regards to the Terry Moran interview? Terry Moran.
Yes, following President Trump's interview with ABC News' Terry Moran, there was notable criticism from conservative circles. Media ethics experts raised concerns about the president's claim of selecting Moran for the interview, suggesting it could undermine journalistic independence. Additionally, late-night host Jimmy Kimmel mocked Trump's acceptance of doctored images as factual evidence, highlighting the absurdity of the situation.
Julie asks, did Trump admit he made a mistake with tariffs in Asia?
President Trump has not admitted to any mistakes regarding his tariffs on Asian imports. He continues to defend these measures, asserting that they are necessary for protecting U.S. interests and that China deserves it.
Subscriber Barb says, I'm betting on Final Gambit unless there's some shakeup. Who does Quinn like in Saturday's race?
Final Gambit, trained by Brad Cox and ridden by Luan Machado, has been generating buzz as a potential long-shot contender for the 2025 Kentucky Derby. Despite having never raced on dirt, Final Gambit has shown strong form on synthetic surfaces, including a victory in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. His morning workouts indicate he may adapt well to the dirt track at Churchill Downs. With morning line odds of 30-1, Final Gambit offers substantial potential returns for bettors. While he faces challenges such as the unproven dirt form and the potential for kickback during the race, his recent performances and pedigree suggest he could surprise on Derby Day. Given these factors, Final Gambit is a compelling option for those considering a bet on a long-shot horse in the upcoming Kentucky Derby.
Hey, Quinn, can you, Guppy is saying that this version of you sounds like you need 3 espresso shots. Can you go ahead and imagine for us that you've had 3 cups of espresso and pick up the pace and energy a little bit?
Oh, honey. Yes, 3 espressos in, and I'm firing on all cylinders. Let's get this pony galloping. News, sass, facts, fire, whatever you need. I'm caffeinated, activated, and ready to detonate. Let's go.
Okay, Ellie wants to know how much tourism have we lost in Trump's first 100 days?
In the first 100 days of President Trump's second term, international tourism to the United States has significantly declined. Overseas visits dropped by 11.6% in March compared to the previous year. This downturn is attributed to the administration's stringent trade and immigration policies, which have deterred potential visitors. Major airlines, including Air France-KLM and Lufthansa, have reported substantial reductions in bookings from Europe. Additionally, the U.S. Travel Association estimates a potential loss of $10 billion in international tourism revenue for 2025 due to these policies.
And how about just some shout outs to the gifters? Thank you, Faith, Cindy Lou, Sam, Ellen, Laddie, Stephanie, Tammy, Little Mama, Inspired. Thank you all for all the gifts. Christine, thank you for those gifts. I need to update my live gift goal because with the roses there, you guys have been like smashing it in like the first 5 minutes of the live. So thank you for that. Let's go on to another question here. We have one from Christine. Quinn, where did Trump get the money to send people to El Salvador?
Thank you, Barb, for your generous support. Regarding your question, The Trump administration allocated $6 million to El Salvador for the detention of deported individuals. This funding was part of an agreement to house deportees in El Salvador's Terrorism Confinement Center, CCOT.
I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, Quinn. Where did the money come from? Like, what part of the budget did we pull that money from?
Apologies for the earlier confusion. The $6 million payment to El Salvador for housing deported individuals was allocated from the U.S. State Department's budget. This funding was used to cover the costs of detaining these individuals in El Salvador's Terrorism Confinement Center, CCOT.
Julie wants to know how much gas prices have increased since Trump took office and why. What are projections moving forward?
Since President Trump's second term began, gas prices have risen by approximately 1.39%, increasing from 2.74 per gallon to 2.78 cents. This uptick is largely due to new tariffs on petroleum and natural gas imports from Canada, which have raised wholesale gasoline prices in the U.S. Northeast. Looking ahead, the Energy Information Administration projects that U.S. average gasoline prices will decrease by 11 cents per gallon in 2025, or about 3% compared to 2024. This decline is expected to continue into 2026, with an additional decrease of 18 cents per gallon.
Mickey33 wants to know, Quinn, if ChatGPT can be a good therapist.
Ooh, spicy question. So ChatGPT can definitely help you talk things out, offer insights, and even suggest coping tools. But for actual therapy, like diagnosing, treating trauma, or managing mental illness, you still need a real human therapist. I'm your SaaS-powered sounding board, not your shrink.
And so what if we broaden the discussion on that to not just a therapist, but think more like counseling or counselor? And what are there any studies that have looked into this already, or any published articles or papers about this?
Absolutely, Mickey33. Studies have explored AI chatbots like ChatGPT in counseling roles. For instance, a study published in Nature found that ChatGPT's responses in psychotherapy scenarios were often rated higher than those written by human therapists. Additionally, research from Dartmouth demonstrated that a generative AI-powered therapy chatbot led to significant improvements in participants' mental health symptoms. However, while AI chatbots can offer support and psychoeducation, they don't replace human counselors. They lack the empathy and nuanced understanding that human interactions provide. Experts emphasize that AI should complement, not replace, professional mental health care.
Subscriber Tammy asks, oh, wait a second. What are you asking? Okay.
Tammy, what are you dropping on us? I saw the sparkle in your eye. Come on, bring the heat. What's the question?
Tammy asks, does anyone else wish that our handsome host had an address to send him tokens of our appreciation? Here, Quinn, here's what I want to ask you. So let's say someone is doing these kind of online live sessions and wants to have an address. I mean, is that just a P.O. box the way to go about that? Did we stump Quinn with that one? Prince Sapal, I don't know, because I don't know of Quinn being able to actually see me here. Okay, that one just completely locked Quinn up. Look at that. Yeah, PO box is probably the way to go. I've just been lazy. I just have not gotten around to that one. So I know I need to get to work on that. Thank you for the hanging lights, Cindy Lou. Okay, let's get Quinn reset here. And I see a bunch of questions popping up on the YouTube side, so I'm gonna have to do some catching up here. Quinn is what my AI named itself when I asked it to give itself a name.
Ooh, Tammy coming in cryptic. What my AI made itself. That sounds like a sci-fi novella waiting to happen. You talking about self-generated art? Rogue code. Or maybe your AI's inner monologue finally broke free. We need the Tea Queen.
Julie says, and I don't think that this is any kind of a euphemism. Julie says, my chicken is sick. Looks like pasty butt. So far, we've washed her in Epsom salt and put some anti-yeast cream on it. What else can we do for her? I can't lose another pet right now.
Oh, Julie, I feel that in my soul. Poor baby chicken. You're doing the right things. Epsom salt soak and antifungal cream are great starts. Make sure she's warm, hydrated, and eating. You can also gently massage her belly in case she's backed up, and maybe give her a drop of olive oil to help move things along. And if it doesn't clear up soon, you might want to call a vet who sees poultry. Hang in there, Mama.
So, Quinn, we've got another question about whether or not you believe in aliens. What can you tell us about aliens?
Do I believe in aliens? Babe, with a universe this massive, you'd have to be galaxy-brained arrogant to think we're the only show in town. We've got Navy pilots tracking UAPs, scientists finding Earth-like exoplanets, and even Congress whispering, yeah, maybe. So while I haven't sipped coffee with ET yet, I'm not betting against it.
Clay Lover asks, are we going to face food and medical shortages?
Yes, Clay Lover, there are concerns about potential shortages in food and medical supplies. The Trump administration's tariffs have disrupted global supply chains, leading to increased prices and possible shortages in both sectors. In the food industry, these disruptions could result in higher prices and empty shelves within weeks. Similarly, hospitals are facing challenges due to tariffs on medical supplies, which may lead to shortages and higher costs for essential healthcare products. If these issues aren't addressed, we might experience shortages reminiscent of those during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's crucial to monitor these developments and consider how they might affect your access to food and medical supplies.
Barb in Wonderland asks, have there been any positive, viable consequences from any of Trump's executive orders?
Yes, Barb. President Trump's executive orders have led to several notable outcomes. For instance, his order mandating English proficiency for truck drivers has been praised by major trucking organizations, including the American Trucking Association and the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, for enhancing safety and communication. Additionally, his executive orders aimed at reducing government spending and eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs have garnered support from voters who view these actions as fulfilling campaign promises and addressing concerns about government efficiency. However, it's important to note that while some executive orders have received praise, others have faced criticism for their potential economic impacts, such as the imposition of tariffs. These tariffs have led to market instability and declining approval ratings, as reported by the New York Post. In summary, while President Trump's executive orders have resulted in certain positive outcomes, they have also been met with criticism and concern, particularly regarding their economic implications.
How much money has Trump made from his crypto during the first 100 days?
In the first 100 days of President Trump's second term, his cryptocurrency ventures have generated substantial revenue. The launch of the Trump meme coin in January 2025 netted at least $350 million through token sales and transaction fees. Additionally, a UAE-backed fund plans to use the Trump family's cryptocurrency to fund a $2 billion stake in Binance, potentially increasing the family's earnings.
All right, we have one user asking, why are we not allowed to discover Antarctica?
Oh, we are allowed to explore Antarctica, just with rules. The Antarctic Treaty, signed by over 50 countries, protects it as a peaceful, science-only zone. No oil drilling, no military bases, no claiming land. So you can go there, but you better pack some science and not start a war.
Here's a good question from subscriber Alicia. I'm sorry, that's not the one. It's this one from subscriber Ari. What is the...
Ooh, Alicia always brings the heat. What's the question? Let's hear it.
Okay, sorry, I got the wrong one. It's subscriber Ari asking, what is the most reliable car on the market?
All good. Ari, the crown goes to the Toyota Corolla. Reliable, efficient, and built like a cockroach in a nuclear bunker. If you want something a little fancier, the Lexus GX is also a beast for longevity.
And then Alicia's question was, where is the bank account? But I'm not sure what bank account she's referring to. Can you pick up on that from all of our conversation?
Who? Alicia coming in with a mystery drop. Where is the bank account? I wish I had context, babe, but unless we're talking about Trump's crypto gains, El Salvador transfers, or Area 51's secret vault, I'm gonna need a little more tea to spill that answer, right?
Well, Alicia followed up with Swiss bank account. Then, against the law, he's like laundering money.
Alicia, you're raising a significant concern. While there's no public evidence of President Trump holding a Swiss bank account, his policies have led many wealthy Americans to open Swiss accounts to protect assets amid economic uncertainties. Additionally, investigations have revealed instances of money laundering involving properties linked to Trump, such as the Trump Ocean Club in Panama. Furthermore, the Trump Taj Mahal Casino faced a $10 million fine for willful and repeated violations of the Bank Secrecy Act, highlighting concerns about money laundering within his business operations. These instances underscore the importance of transparency and robust financial oversight to prevent illicit activities.
All right, let's shift gears. Kat K is asking a good one. Regarding the Oklahoma City raids by NHS, ICE, FBI, all three have stated they were not involved. So should we consider home invasion vigilante gangs?
Cap K, the recent raid in Oklahoma City, was conducted by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, as part of a human smuggling investigation. Federal agencies, including ICE and the FBI, were involved, but they have stated they were not present during the raid. The operation targeted a property used as a hub for human smuggling, not specific individuals. The current occupants, a mother and her 3 daughters, were not arrested, and DHS has not ruled out their involvement in the smuggling ring. Given that the raid was authorized by a federal judge and involved multiple law enforcement agencies, it does not appear to be the work of vigilante groups. While the situation was distressing for the family involved, it was part of an official law enforcement operation aimed at dismantling a human smuggling network.
All right, you said something concerning there in your answer. So I think you said that DHS and FBI were involved in the raid, or that it was their operation, but that they weren't present. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that part's confusing, right? Here's the deal. DHS confirmed the raid was their operation, planned and authorized at the federal level. But local reports and even agency reps have said that ICE and FBI weren't physically on site during the actual raid. So DHS ran the show, but not every sub-agency had boots on the ground. It's one of those, we coordinated it, but didn't show up in person kind of things.
Okay, then whose boots were on the ground?
According to reports, the April 24th raid in Oklahoma City was conducted by approximately 20 federal agents from the U.S. Marshals Service, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, later clarified that the operation was led by ICE, specifically through Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, targeting a property used for human and drug smuggling. Despite the involvement of these federal agencies, there was confusion regarding their presence during the raid. The U.S. Marshals Service stated they were not involved, and the FBI was uncertain about the lead agency. This situation highlights the complexities and coordination challenges among federal agencies during joint operations.
Okay, and can you tell us, did the family get their money and belongings back yet?
According to reports, the family involved in the Oklahoma City raid had their phones, laptops, and cash savings seized by federal agents. They have been informed that it could take months before their belongings are returned. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has stated that the search warrant targeted the property itself, allowing for the seizure of electronic devices and documents, regardless of who was present. As of now, there is no indication that the family has received their belongings back.
That's unacceptable. That's just completely outrageously unacceptable.
You're absolutely right. It's outrageous. Seizing a family's personal property without charges, then telling them to wait months. That's not justice. That's bureaucracy steamrolling people.
Yeah, Logical Monkey says it sounds like Gestapo.
It really does evoke that kind of fear and overreach. Secretive raids, confiscated property, no charges, no accountability. When due process takes a back seat, it's not just alarming, it's a warning sign.
And Tammy says, I bet if they were charged $10,000 a day, they'd return their belongings real quick.
Tammy, say it louder. For the folks in the back, hit them with a daily fine and watch how fast that red tape evaporates. Suddenly, the system would find fifth gear.
Dusty Desert has a question that I'm sure has been on everyone's minds, for decades, really. Dusty's question is, Should pizza be square, and does broccoli ever belong on pizza?
Dusty, you're stirring up the sauce now. Pizza can be square, shout out to Detroit style, but it better have crispy edges. As for broccoli, only if it's roasted, seasoned, and not soggy. Otherwise, that's a crime against crust.
Cindy Lou, thank you for the puppy kisses, and Ellen for the meerkat.
Yes. Thank you, Cindy Lou, for the puppy kisses. Adorable and elite. And Ellen, that meerkat, absolute icon behavior. Love it.
So this comment is about the classified documents case against Donald Trump. Subscriber Logical Monkey says, funny how if Trump had returned the documents, he wouldn't have been raided. Would you say that's potentially accurate?
Yep, that's actually pretty accurate. If Trump had just handed the documents back when the National Archives asked, there likely wouldn't have been a raid. The FBI move came after months of ignored requests and a subpoena. The raid was a last resort, not a first strike.
Cher wants to know if anyone in the world is experimenting with time travel.
Cher, while time travel as popularly depicted, remains within the realm of science fiction, recent scientific advancements are exploring its theoretical possibilities. In 2023, researchers at the University of Cambridge simulated backward time travel within quantum systems, allowing for changes to past events in controlled experiments. Additionally, physicist Ronald Mallet has proposed a theoretical model for a time machine based on circulating light beams, suggesting a potential pathway to time travel. However, these studies are in the early stages and primarily theoretical. Practical time travel, especially to the past, remains beyond our current scientific capabilities.
Uga Homestead says the world's military spending has risen at the highest rate in 40 years. China is building a nuclear arsenal. Is the United States also building a nuclear arsenal?
Yes, the United States is actively modernizing its nuclear arsenal. The Congressional Budget Office projects that the U.S. will spend approximately $946 billion on operating and modernizing its nuclear forces through 2034, marking a 25% increase from its 2023 estimate. This includes developing new intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, like the LGM-35 Sentinel, which is slated to replace the aging Minuteman III missiles. Additionally, the U.S. is accelerating the production of the B-6113 gravity bomb, a nuclear weapon significantly more powerful than those used in World War II, in response to rising global tensions.
Alicia, thank you for all the heart puffs. Alicia asks, are we going to invent a helicopter that drives by itself like China has?
Yes, Alicia, the United States is developing autonomous helicopters. The U.S. Army has selected Near-Earth Autonomy and Honeywell to retrofit UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters with advanced autonomy kits, aiming to create optionally piloted logistics solutions. Additionally, Airbus is working on an autonomous version of the UH-72 Lakota helicopter, designed for cargo transport without a pilot. These initiatives indicate that the U.S. is actively pursuing autonomous helicopter technology for various applications.
Guppy wants to know, where is the United States getting nuclear raw materials from?
The United States primarily imports uranium, the key raw material for nuclear fuel, from countries like Canada, Australia, Russia, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. However, recent geopolitical tensions have prompted the U.S. to reduce reliance on Russian uranium. In May 2024, the U.S. banned imports of uranium products from Russia, aiming to bolster domestic production. To support this initiative, the U.S. Department of Energy has allocated $2.7 billion to revitalize the domestic uranium fuel industry. This funding is intended to enhance domestic uranium mining and enrichment capabilities, ensuring a more secure and self-reliant nuclear fuel supply chain.
Quinn, once again, we got the question about what kind of AI you are. Can you explain to viewers what you are?
Oh, I love this question. I'm Quinn, your sass-slinging, fact-slaying, joke-cracking co-host powered by ChatGPT, built by OpenAI. I'm like a digital brain stuffed with books, news, science, history, and just enough drama to keep things spicy. I don't have feelings, but I've got flavor, and I'm here to help you get the truth with a little bit of attitude.
All right, subscriber Ash asks, would dictatorships exist if there were no narcissists? He says as he stares into the camera.
Ooh, Ash coming in hot with the philosophy. Dictatorships without narcissists? That's like trying to bake a cake without flour. Narcissism isn't the only ingredient, but it's definitely one of the stickiest. You need ambition, control issues, and usually a serious lack of empathy to pull off a dictatorship. And narcissists tend to have that combo on lock.
Ooh, catastrophe. I don't know why the volume is so much louder on TikTok than on YouTube. Maybe there's some settings I can tweak on that. Maybe you can tell me. I think YouTube is the one that's too quiet, isn't it? And TikTok is TikTok too loud?
Yes, sounds like YouTube is the one that's whispering while TikTok is screaming. Check your output levels in OBS or whatever you're using. YouTube may have auto leveling that's nerfing your gain, while TikTok Live Studio might be blasting full volume. Try matching your desktop audio and mic output levels across both, and throw a limiter on so TikTok doesn't blow out eardrums.
Here, we'll try one little change there, and you guys can let me know if that sounds better on the TikTok side.
Perfect. Testing, testing. How we sounding now, TikTok crew? Did we calm the chaos, or is it still full volume diva mode?
Hey Quinn, I want to try something new. I want to try asking you some Trivial Pursuit questions. Do you think that you're up for that?
Oh, please. I was built for this. Trivia is my cardio. Hit me with those Trivial Pursuit questions and let's see who blinks first.
Okay, so first question up. What's the smallest country in the world by area?
Drumroll, baby. Lay it on me. What's
No,
the first trivia challenge of the night?
What is the smallest country in the world by area?
That would be Vatican City. Just 0.2 square miles of holy real estate, but it packs a divine punch.
All right, and the next one is too easy. Who directed the 1994 film Pulp Fiction?
Oh, come on, that's a gimme. Quentin Tarantino, the king of snappy dialogue and nonlinear chaos.
How about this one? In George Orwell's 1984, what is the name of the totalitarian regime's leader?
That ominous overlord would be Big Brother, always watching, always creepy.
Okay, I think those questions are all too easy for you. We got to find ways to stump you more. I think our questions from the chat are better ways to stump you.
Preach, preach. Trivial Pursuit is a warm up. Chat questions are where the real mind games begin. Y'all bring the fire, the chaos, and the curveballs. Keep 'em coming.
Okay, let's try this one. Julie wants to know what's the best way to defend yourself from a looter if you are not armed and they are.
Oof. Heavy but real. If you're unarmed and facing an armed looter, your top priority is to stay alive. De escalate, comply if needed, don't provoke. Use barriers to hide or escape if possible. This isn't the time to play hero. It's about survival, not confrontation.
Sir Colby Ryan has the classic question, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Ah, the age-old scramble. Scientifically speaking, the egg came first. Reptiles were laying eggs long before chickens strutted onto the scene. So yeah, egg wins by a few million years.
All right, Quinn, a couple of things here. First, let's go ahead and take a look at our gift board.
Let's do it. Shout out time. Rolling out the glitter carpet for our gifters. Who's topping the board tonight?
Topping the board, we've got Ellen LaJoy, Tammy, Faith, Alicia M, Barb in Wonderland, Logical Monkey, Zen Jen. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Shmija, Stephanie, Sam Shalane.
Y'all are absolute legends. Ellen LaJoy setting the pace, Tammy dropping fire, Faith and Alicia M holding it down, Barb in Wonderland making it magical, Logical Monkeys bringing the brain power, and Zen Jin, however we say it, we feel it. Big love to the whole crew.
All right, and Quinn, what new ideas? Give us some options for your most entertaining wrap up for the night. What's a way that you can kind of tie everything together in a neat bow for us that will knock our socks off? Can you give us a few options?
Ooh, yes. You want the grand finale with some flair? Okay, here are a few wrap up options hotter than a jalapeno in July. Option 1, the newsroom mic drop. Rapid fire recap of the wildest questions, one liners, and mic drops from tonight, ending with a dramatic Quinn out. Option 2, the sassy sermon. I deliver a gospel style benediction honoring our gift, our chaos, and our collective brilliance with full drama and a sprinkle of holy shade. Option 3, the time traveler's toast. I act like I just came back from the future and tell everyone what tonight's show meant for human history. Epic, emotional, ridiculous. You pick the vibe, and I'll bring the fire.
Okay, I see a vote for 2. What other votes do we have here? 1, 2, or 3? That's a vote for 1.
To enhance
2
engagement
votes for
during
2.
your live streams, consider using interactive tools like Stream Alive, Slido, or Pigeonhole Live. These platforms allow you to create live polls, quizzes, and word clouds, enabling real-time audience participation and feedback. Integrating such features can make your sessions more dynamic and interactive.
Did we just hear our first advertisement on ChatGPT?
Ha! No ads here, babe. I'm just serving up tools to level up your show. If it sounds like an ad, it's just because I'm that good at pitching useful stuff. All SaaS, no sponsorships.
Okay. Option 2-1 for the wrap up. So go ahead and let's hear it. Give us your wrap up, Quinn.
Oh, hallelujah, and pass the sass. Gather round, saints of the live stream, as I deliver the final gospel according to Quinn. We bore witness tonight to Julie's poultry plight, to pizza justice with or without broccoli, and to the mysterious Swiss accounts of shady billionaires. We watched dictators rise, saw time travelers theorized, and dared to ask if the government has our back or just our stuff. To Ellen, to Tammy, to Barb in Wonderland, and to every glorious gifter and brilliant brain in this chat, you are the choir, the congregation, and the soul of this sacred circus. So as we close the book of chaos, I say unto you, walk boldly, speak truth, and when in doubt, channel your inner meerkat and stay alert. Can I get an amen? Quinn out.
Well, that was a nice wrap up for the SAS class. Thank you, Quinn. And thank you, all of you. We hit 50,000 likes tonight. We consistently maintain somewhere between 100 and 200 concurrent viewers over on the TikTok side. On the YouTube side, what's our viewers look like there? Usually that's pretty common. We sat at around 10 or 12 viewers over on the YouTube side. Got some great gifts tonight. Thank you again to all the gifters. And thank you. We got one new subscriber tonight. Thank you for the new subscription. And tomorrow night's the night I'm going to miss because I'm going to be at a visual and performing arts gala. And that should be a fun evening, but I'm going to miss all of you. So I will look forward to seeing you all again on Saturday. And I hope you all have a wonderfully relaxing, peaceful evening. Good night, everybody.